Okay, how are you doing? This is another Uncast with Beau and Dubs. I'm Beau, and this is Dubs. You
Hi,
can't
hi.
see him.
Hello.
You see, you heard something. And so I am here with, we are two guys in Austin, Texas, just kind of shooting the crap, just talking about what is on our mind. I haven't seen Dubs in about 4 years, and so we're kind of catching up on things and talking about current events and where I am with what I think are these answers to the universe that I think everybody should understand and use and help themselves with. And does it look like we are actually going with this?
So I was slacking, but yeah.
That'll work. Yeah. If so, we are. So last week we got into all kinds of things, and I'm very all over the place. I'm going to try to finish my conversations and remember my point of view, where I'm supposed to be. Oh, you're changing the remote for this. Yeah, that's becoming disastrous.
Okay.
We're probably live. Or do you want me to check over here?
So yeah, I was gonna say it didn't
Check over there. Oh wait.
No, never mind.
I'm not checking live. I'm not going to go digging anything live on my computer. You know.
Yeah.
So here we are, and so we've got some topics. Do you have anything you want to make sure you talk about?
I do, but let's start with yours, and we'll feed mine in.
Okay. So yeah. So I can't remember. So and thank you for your patience, because you're great about like helping me be patient, being patient while we get back to where the original point was. You know, I was getting all off the track.
Yeah.
With everything. We never talked about what is the ideal society, which is an interesting aspect, because here I am saying, here's how to form a body of elected representatives to get what you want done.
Mm-hmm.
But then everyone's got their own idea, and what would that be? I guess, like, so when we say the most pleasure and the least pain, remember how you were?
Sure, yeah.
You're saying some people measure it that way.
Right, yeah, kind of the Sam Harris framing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's different terminology that's used slightly, but in general, that's the through line is the most good. But I think
people
flourishing, right? Human flourishing is kind of like the optimal ideal, because I think like when you think of like, you couldn't just say happy, because that's not really a good qualification for what the good life is. But flourishing is a pretty good way, I think, to frame it.
Yeah, but then there's an issue of if everyone's just doing great and fine, except for like 5 people are being tortured, constantly. Is that acceptable? There's minimal acceptable things, like you don't want anyone to be wanting to just die because their life is so painful and horrifying. How can that be utopia? How can that be the best it gets for everyone? You know what I mean? Is that the measurement? So
yeah. I mean, I think that no one could say that was the best, but some might say it's acceptable in the range of what could be.
Yeah, and so there's all these people that are going to argue this kind of thing, and to me, that doesn't matter. Whatever you think it is, if you think just torturing everybody is good, you hate everybody and you want everybody to be in pain, maybe that's your utopia. But it doesn't matter. In the end, we all come together to find the most agreeable thing. The most agreeable thing is what we all will work on, because people just don't want a place where there's negative and they want the positive. It works itself out. You don't have to. People don't want people being tortured. You don't need to make a rule. You don't have to sort out, oh my God, how do we design utopia to be a place where people don't accept torture?
I'm not sure I believe we don't need a rule, but I do think that it would work itself out generally. I think that, like if people were all like having a say, we wouldn't say, oh, that's fine.
Well, so when we worry about like, what if people become, hurtful of others? I mean, or uncaring of others, and if they're of their suffering, But the way to do that is if they have enough nutrients as babies, and they have the loving, caring connection to their parents and human contact as they're growing old. They're raised correctly at a certain point. By the time they're 7, they naturally care. And so there's the real rule that we're after is if we can make sure humans are raised properly in those ways, then they naturally will not want someone to be tortured.
I mean, that seems like a good start, but it feels like it would hit the vast majority of folks. Yeah.
And then so the rules we would establish, like torture is bad, but who determines that? You know what I mean? So it's going to be just people, whatever they determine.
Right. It has to be collective, right? I think we kind of have to collectively agree, and not everyone has to agree, but there has to be, like more than, I don't know if it needs to be pure democracy. I think that sometimes, like say 60%, whatever the threshold is, it would just have to meet that.
Yeah. And we talked about like setting up, because ultimately what I say is the answer when the rubber hits the road is going to be when people make a website. And so, because when you have to make a website, that's what you're defining. It's like the same as we're having a party, people are coming over. Now we're going to actually have people playing the game. They're going to be interacting.
Right.
What are the rules of the game? It
Yeah.
absolutely becomes real.
Sure.
But some of the difficult things that my brain doesn't feel like thinking about because it's just such a hard thing to think about is like one of the answers to the universe I'd say is if people would we're talking about calling it nurtured. What was I calling it? Cultured, cultivated, curated wisdom.
Okay.
Because if you pass down to your children some in writing what you believe is specific wisdom they should focus on,
mm-hmm.
that is so crucial. And I was thinking about this like a week ago. It's like, like my great grandfather. What message is there to me? I got nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, not directly, right? Hopefully things that he said to his son who told you is, I would imagine, would be the things that you were told growing up. And, we've had that historically, right? Like,
so it's this word of mouth stuff.
Right.
And it all came from him because the influence and all that.
Yeah.
But if to be able to have a document, not that he gave me directly, but that he gave, because my dad would carry around the older documents.
Mm-hmm.
You'd carry around until if crap hit the fan and you had to move real fast, you take your the last documents that you are the actual curated wisdom you currently have.
Right. Yeah.
And you'd run with that.
Yeah.
But you would grab that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. It'd have to be something also that's movable.
Mm.
But like, so I was, go on.
Oh, I was just loving that idea. It just reminds me of the shit I'm working on now where with AI, you do kind of like set up these different documents that represent the way you want them to think. And like, you kind of have like, you might have for Claude, you have a Claude.md. It's kind of like the most important things you want them to do. And it can't be too long because if it's too long, it just adds confusion and it's whatever. Yeah. So it has to be within a subset. Right. Here are the things that you have to do that are not negotiable.
Right. When you start adding too many things, people lose focus. We start not doing the other things. And
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because just like an employee, like when a principal would say, okay, at the beginning of the year, all of a sudden, randomly they'll throw, okay, well, what you got to do is design this thing for your doorway. I was like, what? It's just like we're doing a contest of some kind of thing, and it's got to be a certain type of presentation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's okay. So we're setting up for school. For teachers, that's the time that you are busy. You're working. You need to put your hours in only on setting up everything that you're doing. This is every million things to do at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, everyone's sitting around like, okay, well, we're just running out the clock. Grades are in the last day, right?
Right. Yeah.
The last day is a very bizarre legal thing. But what can you do? If you shorten the year, then the last day would be sooner. So you're going to have a bureaucratic day where everyone's done everything.
Yeah.
That would be a terrible school if you're still actually trying to do things at the last minute, right? That would be a terrible school.
One would hope, yeah.
So you're inevitably going to have that inefficiency. But we were talking about the efficiency of the schools. A principal gives you all these things. So too many things on your plate.
Yeah, but like handing down knowledge from historically, I think may have been the origin there. But where were we going with that?
Well, like if you hand someone a Bible, here, this is the wisdom I like. And then here's the Bible, here's the Britannica. And so that's not conveying a message, that's conveying a chore. And now they don't.
That's a lot. Yeah,
good luck. I mean, they might find a message, but who knows what they're going to find.
Right.
Now they're going to find things that you're not even talking about.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They're buried in Leviticus and they're,
right, yeah. A lot to be explored in there for sure.
Yeah.
Song of Solomon, yeah.
Right. So, so that's the beauty of curated wisdom. And it's something we really need to keep alive and stuff you would never understand. Like what is important. Like apparently men have peenies and women have vaginas is crucial wisdom that we missed in the 20s.
What is
2020s.
that? That's from like an old movie, right?
Oh, the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like, yeah. Like
girls have
Canine Cop, or was it Kindergarten
Boys
Cop?
have penises and girls have vaginas.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like apparently we did need to pass that down. That's curated wisdom we haven't been keeping track of.
Yeah, it's fascinating that Mr. Rogers is the controversial because he's have you seen that clip?
Oh no.
He's like he's singing a song. It's if he's singing about this specifically because he's so emphatic. Girls are girls from the beginning. Like he's saying to all the woke people, you know what I mean? Okay, so that's it.
Right.
Boys are boys from the once you're a boy, you'll always be a boy until you're a man. You're not going to be a woman. Like, it's like he is saying anti-trans with this song. He's like, funny. You are not a woman. The one thing we know you're never going to be, you're a boy.
Oh man. Well, that's part of the beauty of it is that's just the way he spoke, right? So like anything he says is going to come across that way. But like just but he could say something benign that's seemingly benign, yes. But yeah, now it turns out to be like a highly contested thing.
I never would have called that. I never would have said people could be so insane that would think penises are. You're wrong for saying.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Rogers. You were that song was just so controversial. Yeah, that's great.
That's fascinating. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's basically again, there's so many things like outcome focus. What's an ideal utopia? That's kind of a waste of time because we can start designing utopia. We can start doing it now. Is what my whole point is.
Mm. I mean, I think there's more to be spoken about there. Like,
you'd like to talk about it first?
Well, I mean, like the utopia thing, just because I feel like utopia is if that's your goal. I'm not saying it shouldn't be your goal, but it's like an expectation. It's an unreasonable expectation, right? Like we're the crooked timber of man. We're not gonna hit the even if we train everyone perfectly to age 7 of the things they ought to know. I don't think we're gonna feel we're not gonna have good outcomes.
But we're looking at where do we want to end up. Well, here's the problem is because people will go. We have problems. Let's fix them. Let's do like the Band-Aid solutions, which are like term limits. We need to have term limits for guys.
Right.
Okay, so that's a Band-Aid. That's not fixing the base problem in any way. You're just slapping a Band-Aid on it. And I just want us to look at where do we want to end up?
Right.
1,000 years from now, where do you want to look up and end up? And that is a utopian vision you must have. So utopia means literally does not exist. So utopia would not exist. But what we're saying is the best we can get, the closest we can get to utopia, the most real utopia, should be something you're looking for getting towards 1,000 years from now. And that's what gets you in the mindset of that.
Okay. I'll buy that.
So did you hear Ketanji BJ, the jurisdiction over the citizenship, the debate? That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So I follow Advisory Opinions podcast, and so I listened to all the things they've said. I don't remember them focusing on anything on Ketanji Brown Jackson.
She gave up an example, like if she goes to Tokyo and steals a wallet, she is arguing that in a way she's a citizen of, she has allegiance to Tokyo because she's under the, she's saying that jurisdiction over you is having allegiance to that government. If someone has jurisdiction over you.
Interesting. So if I say I'm not allied with the U.S. government.
So sorry, what?
So I say I'm not, if I don't allow myself to be judged by the U.S. government, it's like, well, I don't owe allegiance to you, so I can do whatever I want. I can steal from the U.S. government because I'm not under your aegis. Is that the sort of the mindset there?
Well, I mean, the purpose of it is to show prove what a citizen is.
Okay.
And the citizens have allegiance. It's the definition in the Constitution or whatever, right? And so, or what's a court case is determined you must, because you also have allegiance. Not only are you born here, because do you remember the clause that people are referencing? It's about, of all things, I don't even know the damn constitutional clause. But it's like the people that were... I'm
sad I didn't do more research on this because
they live here and they're subject to the laws of the United States.
Right.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Which I guess everyone that is subject to the laws, right?
Right. The way I would read that is that's like she's interpreting. But
but there's a difference if you're a citizen, right? Like if you're visiting on a visa, you don't have to pay taxes the same way, right? So you're not subject to the same laws per se. So I mean, there is a distinction there for citizenship, but
you're not subject to income tax.
Right.
Yeah, so they're not subject to the laws.
Yeah, not the same, not all the laws. It's different.
Yeah. And if they are, let's let them off the hook on all the laws, and then there you go. That answers itself. But the real answer there is, if we came together in a body of elected representatives, what do you think the answer to the immigration issue is? What?
I think, I mean, at least
reasonable approach. Well,
it'd be interesting because you're saying board, that would be more kind of like the mind meld of us all, which is I think it's hard. Is that what I think?
How Americans feel in their hearts about everything. Like, Judge, what would you think everyone would
I think people like seem generally to be in favor of reasonable immigration policy and no illegal immigration, or very little. Like,
yeah, but those are generic statements that are in and of themselves. Like,
sure,
everyone would agree something reasonable should be done and not illegal.
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, so well, help me.
What I'm
help me out
saying
then.
is, I think everyone would agree that someone who's been here 10 years and not committed crimes and whatever, they are not the target, the prime target. If we're going to get them out, they're going to be after the people that have just came across the border.
Fair, yeah.
There's a priority.
Okay, yeah. If we're yeah, for sure. If there's going to be a queue, I think that's right.
And so that's what a lot of people are having a problem with, or I do, for people who've been living here because of the de facto legality of it. We never. This is what I don't like. I don't like everyone's committing a crime and it's culture, common law. That's how we do it. Common law, right? That's what the judges go by.
Yeah, it's definitely part of our history for sure.
Yeah. So now we have people living here for 10, 20 years illegally.
Yeah.
Not illegally, because it's been common law. They're common law.
I mean, it's still legal, right? But I mean,
yeah, but like that's the whole point. Like, if we don't arrest someone for a marijuana joint for 20 years, he's smoking joints right in front of his house. For 20 years, we're just not arresting him. Then we're going.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time arguing it, but I still have a hard time saying it ought to be true, because then you could just hide and do your crimes, and then, ta-da! I've been criming for years, so now it's fine.
Oh wait, hide.
So I guess maybe it's the fact that
someone can get away. Oh, a murderer is like, oh, it was common law. I was a Zodiac killer. Y'all never caught me, and of course, you endorsed it. Apparently,
right? Yeah. Apparently, you didn't arrest me, so it's fine. Yeah.
Actually, that actually might help, because if we never catch the Zodiac killer, we don't learn from anything. So if after 40 years or something, we say, you know what? 40 years, you come forward, you can't kill anymore.
Oh, it's like copyright law. It's like, okay, now you have to tell us how you did it, so that we'll so we can we'll learn all the lessons.
Yeah, but we have nothing to lose by the guy coming forward and saying who he is.
Except the fact that he will have gotten away with killing people for 40 years.
And then he does a talk show where it's like, I got away with it.
Yeah, and then he just it's like a mass media phenom, which he would be.
And then he goes writes books, derogatory, degrading all his victims. He's just a complete evil.
Oh God, yes. Oh.
So yes, meanwhile, the board. See, if someone comes up with cockamamie view, the board takes care of that, because once we're all represented, we have everybody's point of view. But currently, we don't. So we don't have anyone's point of view. Like, we don't have elected representation in this country. Do you believe we have elected representation?
We have a version of it.
So that's how you would answer that, a version of it.
Yeah.
And when you say we have elected representation to some extent, what do you mean by elected? What does that word mean?
I went and voted on a number of people that I had options, and
so it means you're given more than one option.
Yeah, and I chose from them, and none of mine got elected.
You were able to allegedly pick from one of them.
Yeah.
And so, right, so we need to view things as not just black and white, like you're electing or you're not electing, but you are, how much electing are you doing? So when we think of it as a percentage of electing,
right.
So now that you know what actual elected representation can be with one-to-one representation, where you're 100% represented,
right?
You choose anyone you want out of the whole United States. What percentage, if that's 100%, or what percent would you say that is? A one-to-one is how much percent?
Yeah, let's say that's 100, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what percent is?
I say that, but then you talked about this tail where those people get sliced off. And I'm not sure about that. That's where I feel like, well, maybe I'm not 100% represented.
No, the board includes the tail.
Okay.
So the board is 100% representation.
Okay.
That's one-to-one representation.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. We're starting with that. When you have now the board, every single person is represented in the board. Even if you didn't want to vote, you're represented. That's the whole point. Every single person.
Yeah.
So once you have the board, that is 100% representation. In reality, people are not going to listen to every little dinky doodle guy that voted for himself, who's a psychopath.
Yeah.
And they're going to ignore people. So the reality is we'll ignore people that didn't get enough way.
Yeah. But in theory, they still have representation. Okay, got it.
Yeah, they're counted.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's say it's 100 then. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 100. Then what percent is the United States elected representation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can't say that it's not nearly that, right? Then you got gerrymandering, where your vote is kind of like, watered down more, and you've got like
but
the parties that are just feel like they're influencing your options, which is very much watering down my.
But this is a process of, like you were describing. You're offered two choices or more.
Yeah.
You're able to choose one.
So yeah, let's say a good 10%. I feel 10% represented.
10%, fascinating.
Yeah.
Because it's really like 0.01% or something. I mean, it really is something so small. Because you don't. I guess it's because of the districts. So when you said gerrymandering, the real problem is districts. Even if districts were drawn in a very fair way, the point is only one person can come from each district, meaning you're guaranteed to not represent the vast majority of people.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's somewhat democracy, right? Like no one gets to. It's all a compromise, I think. So it's just the levels of compromise you're making. But I don't know that your point's wrong. I just was thinking like that it's part of the social contract I'm bought into. Like, hey, you know what? This is the way it works. So I'm okay with the idea that I get 0.01 representation or whatever you said.
Yeah. So we're all happy with it. That's not the issue. There is always a level of contentness. I mean, if we measure that from 0 to 100%. There's some contentness.
Yeah. I mean,
but
what's weird is I'm a big fan of our system of government, but I don't feel like I ever had. I've only had one elected representative in my life that I was like, I'm really happy I have this guy representing me, which feels strange. But also, maybe I just have weird views, and so maybe that's why. Like, I just don't fit the norm of what people would feel like. Oh no, this guy's great.
Yeah, unless you have a mainstream view, it will never be represented. Because the way we only represent the majority of the most ignorant. Remember, most incompetent. Remember how we talked about that?
Yeah. Which doesn't. So this is what I've been struggling with: is the idea. It seems like a lot of people are like, "Well, I want to win. I don't really care if it's actually my views that are being represented."
Yeah, there's this aspect to it, like sports or something.
Yeah, and that's what is killing me. Is like, if it feels like we could have a lot better representation if we would just be willing to lose.
Yeah. So praising just winning is what we should call Sig Heiling, because that's what Sig Heil means. Hail victory.
Oh, okay.
So when you're saying hail victory, you're like, winning is what it is matters. And so that's what really lets people know what's really got the not Nazi vibe, is the people that are just trying to win.
Right.
And that's literally Sig Heiling. So if people don't like Sig Heiling, let's kind of associate with that.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Right. But none of that is represented. Oh, but we'll never know until we see. So that's what I'm saying. Once people see what an actual boar can do, then it's all over. Then it's going to be so rapid. I mean, maybe, who knows? I mean, I'm always amazed when I talk to people. How uninformed people are of basic stuff, maybe.
Yes, I do. I'm aware.
Yeah,
I'm one of these people.
How you're uninformed?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
But so the thing is, I'm uninformed too. I mean, I understand it, but you understand that you're uninformed. Like if I tell you something, you're like, not just that can't possibly be. You're having a meltdown, crying in the corner. It's like you're just okay. But people are not even accepting of the reality that. So reality. Brilliant. Okay, so really what would help me is if I give a progress report on my book that I'm writing for 1-to-1, right?
Yes.
So there's 0 progress. There's the progress report.
Okay. That's brilliant.
Well,
why is that?
Because I don't.
You don't
I'd have to get into it. I'd have to get into it and start, doing it. Because as soon as I start to get into it, I realize, oh, wow, I have all this patchwork of notes and all these different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I with it? So I'm sort of refreshing myself,
Right.
So
Well, it sounds like you're not 0 already. If you have notes and things, right? You're not 0. Or you're just saying 0 progress from where you were.
Where I was before,
Gotcha,
right?
Okay.
but the rubber needs to meet the road. So here's the thing: the website, right?
Mhm.
So when I need to put up the website,
Mhm.
and then that forces me to put things up and then prioritize it. And like I'm saying with these, 1, 2, 3, this is the 3 parts of this part of one-to-one representation. This is the other 3 parts, and
Mhm.
like that would. But why am I not putting that, in a thing together?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I mean. Like if I had to report, to you,
Right.
then I would actually show you what I've done, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Look at the progress.
Yep.
So we'll do that next time, right?
I like it.
If there's
yeah. And I think as part of that, I'd like to see some kind of like we need to road test it, right? So like we'll do like a microcosm of the board when we do like we were doing with the poker game. We'll be like, all right, so here's the way we're going to run this thing. Let's actually use the board system to figure it out, kind of thing.
Yeah. How would we run it? Oh, can we have a board of AI?
I mean, I don't see why not.
We can program AI to be certain people.
Yeah.
Vote as if we could have. Well, I mean, I don't know what benefit that would be, but like.
I mean, it would be interesting. The problem I worry about is that it like you have a central source of truth there. You don't have like the beautiful, like diversity of the way people interact. Like people are crazy, and AI is not quite as crazy. I mean, they're a little crazy.
But what if we took an AI and said, okay, you're the personality of AOC, and then this other guy, you're a personality of other people in Congress, movie stars, whatever, and we have them all kind of
set up
Alex Jones character.
Oh, AI. I love it. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
You react in the way that you would vote on these things, knowing what he knows. Yeah, so AI would be able to parse out who would be for what.
I would think so. Yeah.
Fun, actually.
That is really fun.
But then, what would that be? That's not really. That's showing people kind of this chaos,
right? Well, it's
not a real thing
for sure. It wouldn't be. It would be more kind of like it'd actually be kind of the worst in the sense that it's like these people that have been elevated because they're so extreme.
Yeah, they would not be
average.
The whole point would be, like Aunt B from down the street would all of a sudden rise to the goddamn top because everyone's so sick of the bullshit. Like, I don't think people realize how sick they are of journalists. You know what I mean? Like, you think Chris Starwalt is great, right?
He's great, yeah.
Because compared to everything else you're seeing, but if we really were able to see all these people that could be journalists, that would be if we actually gave them credit and said, no, I want to listen to you. Not because you worked at manipulating and getting bots on your accounts and promoting yourself in the way that markets yourself better than others.
Yeah.
But we've chosen you because you really are providing a service. Like Duncan Hines he would just do reviews of restaurants, and he did such good reviews, thorough, like what's the kitchen look like and everything, that he became like just a kind of go-to guy for dining and what's healthy and dining and food. And then it becomes someone uses his name to make cake or whatever. I think it just went directly into cakes and whatever. Anyway.
Okay.
I just love the history. Look, the things we could tap into now with all the people will do documentaries on just a company, and it's interesting. Like sriracha, the original sriracha sauce.
Right.
Like there's some lawsuit drama there.
Oh, like the origins? Like there's some
recently, he 5-10 years ago, he had a great setup with this grower. He had a main grower, and he's getting 90% of this guy's stuff. And they have a deal. It's not on paper, handshake deal. And then he violates that, but we have the common law kind of thing where you have a contract because it's established.
Sure. Yeah.
For decades.
Yeah. And
so he did sue and did win, and now the sriracha guys completely missed the ball. He disrupted his whole production. The original sriracha, he didn't copyright the name, and so all these other srirachas are out there. And
oh my god,
it's not the original, and whatever. But I just find that fascinating, and just that kind of thing, and
yeah,
whatever. So. I won't shut up about the unblock. Oh, here's the thing. You don't want an AHOA for yourself, right?
No.
Okay. But what your responses were when I bring up the unblock, which is this ideal block where the pedestrians are not interacting with the cars. And it's perfect, and everyone's happy with it, except for Dubs. And so what I'm saying is Dubs does not want other people to have HOAs. And this is a problem with anarchists.
Right.
They don't want other people to be communist.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I embody the same founder kind of vibe. Like there are inalienable rights to way I want to have my house.
But you won't let two other people form an HOA amongst themselves.
They can do whatever they want. Just don't infringe on my right to have my house as I like.
But you're
My house is my castle.
wow. So you're still stuck on that. I mean, we already got you. Yes, we got that. You don't want to join a HOA.
Yep.
Okay. But do other people wanting to have an HOA is good or not?
That's totally fine. As so long as it doesn't infringe on my ability to be free. When did I become such a teetotaler on this? I do feel strongly about it more than I realized.
But that's a basic freedom thing. Maybe when you started owning a house.
Yeah. I'm sure I didn't have more thoughts about that. Yeah, because like when I'm in an apartment, what are you gonna do?
What if we gave like high school seniors like, I don't know, a home and an income for a year, and you had to pay taxes on it, and all that.
Right.
I don't know if there's some sort of small level way we could get them to live in the real world. Like this is how it works.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, you want to do it for like a 13-year-old. Like, what's the experience of it? Because there's documentaries about a whole business set up, and it was in Mexico and then Latin American stuff. These kids, like malls that are made for kids to go, where it's kid run and operated.
Okay.
That's the feel.
Okay.
Like, and they go and they serve a job. They have a job there, and then they walk around this little kid community. Like, I'm a baker in this city, in this little kid world.
Okay.
Sounds fun as hell, right?
There, yeah.
Yeah, you'd go and you're a baker, you make pizzas, you do whatever, and people pay with, it was an economy, It taught them the reality of the whole situation, of how the world works. That's so real, and you know how important touching and feeling and knowing and doing it, right, is real.
Sure,
it really matters.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like we had a teacher one time, Miss Schuster, she took us outside and had us all running, this is when it's hot, we're all separated, we're running around. Now when we're cold, we're all shivering. So when, the concept of chemicals, atoms are closer when they're cold.
Okay.
That's kind of, to me, over the top on the efficiency of it, taking kids outside. We got to run around and do this for 10 minutes or whatever.
My kids need to run around, so it seems like a good excuse.
It does really genuinely, especially here's the problem also, for people that don't get things, obviously, right? Like the smartest kids in class already understand the concept. They're never going to forget it. But we need everybody to know this concept. So that's another issue with the group. That's a problem with group sharing and socializing education like we have. What are you thinking?
No, I was going to re-up.
Oh, yeah, re-up. And I'll sort through the paperwork. All right, paperwork break, everyone. Okay, everyone go sort through your notes. Do you remember Paul Harvey?
I do.
He got Me Too'd or whatever, right?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and then there's a Paul Harvey on climate change quote. So, yeah, you could tell why he was eventually removed. And then that brings us to Cesar Chavez. We talked about him.
Oh, that's a hop. How'd that happen? Okay.
Yeah, well, because like Paul Harvey, the conspiracy theory would be Paul Harvey believed the climate change was just a bunch of nonsense. Because, he's saying, because back in the day, they would bring up things that they'd be proven wrong, bring up things proven wrong. And eventually they started saying the science is settled. We're not talking about it anymore. And then everybody started saying, yep, science is settled. And like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's still, you don't know you support the idea that man-made climate change is a big issue or an issue.
Yeah.
And so, but you don't know any science yourself.
I'm not a scientist.
Right.
But I've read papers and have done surveys of the papers that are out there at the time. I will say I haven't done it since the 2027.
Yeah, but then the actual science, what is science? But it's reproducible studies, and nobody, what we want. That's what we want people to have. Maybe they are out there, right?
Yeah. But I would say I've done more than average research into this topic myself, but I am not a scientist. So that's where I say my frame is, at least in my head.
Yeah. But so if we could get people to do that. But climate, so he doesn't like climate change, and then when Me Too comes along, he gets knocked out because they can do that. They can say, we like this guy, we don't. Like Jimmy Kimmel doing a whole repeated episode on his show, Man Show, where he's in blackface. Yeah. Mocking a black person as a mentally ill person, basically. He played the character as if he's stupid. Really stupid.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about this.
Have you ever seen it? Or?
No.
Oh, wow. He plays Karl Malone, which is a basketball player or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Now, maybe Karl Malone is that character. I don't know, but he's playing the character as, sort of half brain dead. So, but anyway, like that's nothing, no problem there whatsoever.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. That's
And he toes the line, and he goes on TV, and he'll cry and say, "We need this law passed," and all that. Right? You've seen all those videos or not?
Which law?
Like the comedy show that Jimmy Kimmel puts on, and he goes on for the monologue and says, "Oh my God, the Children Act, it's so terrible." Like,
oh no, I guess
multiple times he's cried because of some political thing or whatever.
I believe it. I haven't followed him. I'm not my jam. So
yes, I mean I don't follow him either, but the politics of it, and so that's what's fascinating about how politics got into all the video games and all that. Do you know anything about Gamergate?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course. And so there's the politics involving in everything. So that's what's kind of exciting. And movies, Star Wars, and politics. How they could destroy a movie, and we saw it together.
Yes.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, like you introduced me to the Red Letter Media reviews of that stuff.
That was when you first heard of Red Letter Media.
Yeah, you told me about it.
What? That's crazy because 2010 when that first video came out, that was my thing. I was like, oh my God.
No, that changed my life.
But wait, you didn't hear about it until 2010?
I didn't hear about it until you told me. Whenever that was, I'd never heard of it until
months ago.
Well, no, it was more before that, right? Didn't you tell me about that a good while ago?
So it might have been 2010.
Gosh, I don't know.
17 years ago, 16 years ago?
Gosh, that didn't feel like it was that long ago. I think it was probably when we were chatting, maybe more like
17? Pre-COVID?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that time period. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds right, actually.
Because Phantom Menace, because I had seen Phantom Menace, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I guess that was good. And, that's exactly, oh my God, I'm just this mindless, oh, well, that's what we were served for breakfast. And I guess that was good.
Right.
And he's like pointing out how you don't know it, but it's the way that is so brilliant, you don't know it.
But your brain did. Yeah.
You don't remember it, but your brain did.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
And also the statement of, oh, like the double O, like that is that's a complete new genre of communication technique.
No, there was some brilliant communication there for sure.
Oh, the way that like you could just he conveyed, he got your brain to think about the thing that he's saying, and that really helped it along.
And it didn't hurt that he had mounds upon mounds of evidence of the things he was presenting. Like, oh, this is on top of this, like all these 37 things that they've done wrong in the movie. It's like,
and
holy shit.
Just digs in and dissects George Lucas's mind and the mind of everyone helping him. The whole idea that, well, hey, we want to, George, whatever you want, and
right.
The whole yes man problem when nobody really wants that. George doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost like this is how if George Lucas had a board of helpers, that feedback would get to him without his approval. You see, there'd be that glowing statement of what people are talking about.
Right.
That's unignorable.
And then this would be this abstract, this other thing that was like giving him real feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then also the way Red Letter Media affected do you know what this? Like how they listened to
no kidding.
Mike Stoklasa.
Oh, that's
the
great.
guy from with his advice basically in those Plinkett reviews. All of that was taken into account, even to the point of getting the director, the J.J. Abrams. He even said, like, what you need is you really want is have J.J. Abrams come in there, make it an action thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
He so Force Awakens or whatever when they redid the original New Hope.
Yeah,
the complete copy of the same exact. It's not a Death Star; it's a big Death Star. Oh wow! What? Holy moly! And then Magic Bean Girl, and you can have. So, but they still had to make it woke and all that. And do you ever see the one where she's in the nightgown? Where they throw Jedi's like Luke's lightsaber away. He throws it away.
I do. Yeah. I had to see that one. Yeah.
It dismisses the H. You did see that.
Yeah.
So she's in a nightgown and she says she saves the day because she does the Holdo maneuver. Holdo.
I missed the nightgown thing somehow.
She's the admiral of the.
Oh wait, okay, yeah,
she's wearing a freaking nightgown.
Oh gosh, okay. I guess I didn't realize she was in a nightgown.
And everyone points that out because it's so absurd. Like, why would you be wearing this?
I must not have seen the newer ones. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And you'd never wear a loose garment in a place where it could catch on things. You're running around, things fall, and now you're stuck because your garment is loose and you're wearing a robe.
Yeah.
And then she saves her life. She risked her life to do the Holdo maneuver, which could have been done at any point in time. And then, of course, later everyone's seen that a million times. I'm not giving anything out to the universe. I'm just enjoying life, and that this is out there for us. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So, but I do appreciate that they took that into account, like that actually made a difference. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I'm not for rising up, like these revolutions, because often I'll joke about the murder board and we'll come together and start, murdering people or whatever. But I'm not. I'll mention, that people will come together and they'll be able to get their way. But it's not like It's not for rising up. It's about rising under. It's like supporting people. We need to support each other. And when you support someone, they can start speaking on their own behalf and start to make sense. I mean, currently, right now, we don't speak on our own behalf because we're replying to news stories. We're replying to things like we're being pro somebody or anti somebody. It's not even really what we think. Do we talk about the concept of what it really is like we're given options and we choose from those options. There's a completely different approach when we start to choose from infinity options. The reality of we can do anything we want. So the things we want is what we actually want, not an option someone chose.
But it's not like that's not going to introduce a paradox of choice where we don't know how to choose, kind of thing. Like, too many options. Give me 3.
So, first of all, the way we do things now with this current approach, to change something, you have to fight your life to get it changed. So it has to be something willing so bad that we've got to fix it. It's a problem so bad.
Yeah.
So problems that are not so bad, we're just tortured, maybe 12% of our life, and everyone almost wants to kill themselves, but they don't really kill themselves.
Right.
We're not changing that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When we realize all of the problems, every nonsensical thing, how you call a place and it doesn't, the phone interface is crazy. That would never exist in one-to-one representation. Those things are just done away with immediately because we're all aware of it. And we're like, well, no one's going to use Bank of America unless you fix your phone system to be this, what we were asking for. Well, what is Bank of America going to do? Once Americans are all like talking about which systems they're going to use, phone systems, everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we're using that phone system now? It's going to be like a Senate of ancient Rome. You've heard me talk about that, right?
Senate of who?
The Senate of ancient Rome.
No, I don't think.
So SPQR. That is the ancient Roman slogan, and it's the Senate and the people of Rome is what that means.
Okay.
So that tells you the power of the Senate. Now, there's people of Rome, but then Senate first, Senate, and then and the people of Rome.
Yeah, those are
and who are the senators? But it comes from just the elders of the society in a patriarchal community. The elder has power of killing the younger everyone in their family. That was in ancient Rome, but also before because of the chaos years, right? If you live in a state of anarchy, the order is the patriarch.
Yeah, might makes right.
Like if my nephew is starting a war with another tribe of people,
right?
I need to maybe execute him.
Yeah.
Or punish him.
Sure.
Address that.
Yeah.
On behalf of everybody, and we all know that is how it is.
Right.
Because this is the stability we've come across. It's the most fundamental kind of daddy. It's like we have dads, and dad's in charge, and grandpa's in charge, and then now we have a community, and the oldest living male makes the decisions about what is right or wrong, and all that. But anyway, so they were an advisory body. We've talked about that. They only offered advice. But if all of the powerful people in the city that operate as a one unit of people, and they've all said and agreed they're going to do something this way, obviously that's going to happen.
Seems likely, yeah.
So that's the power of just advice. In fact, their advice,
But why would they, in like the board system, why wouldn't they be just like anybody? Wouldn't they be up against like the masses?
The people of the United States would be asking for things. That's what I mean. That's what the power of asking. So we might think, so what if 20% of people ask for something to be done? How big of a deal is that? Ask for better phone systems on banking interaction. Right? Would that mean anything if 20% of Americans are saying this is a big deal to us, and we're going to look for who these people are, who's got the best phone systems, who's got a good one, bad one?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, if it were available to everyone, and the other companies that were competing could see that, then they'd be like, I'm going to go improve that and make the system better and market that and potentially replace them.
Merely because people are asking for it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so once we realize all we have to do is ask for things. Well, I want ice cream. I want free lasagna Wednesday. I mean, we could actually be getting all kinds of things. And so, the downside is a person might say, well, people are going to ask for things that are, everyone to have a Corvette or something, right? Things we can't afford. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the least of our problems. I mean, everyone's getting a Corvette, but it ain't you, okay? I mean, there's a guy getting 80 billion Corvettes, and, it's the form of all the giveaways of billions of dollars we give to all these people to do whatever.
Yeah.
That's not what we want.
Yeah. But do you feel like capitalism is providing that signal at some level? Like, hey, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I'll pay for this when this is the thing I want.
Oh, so here's how paying for it. So paying for it is a system of top down. We're offered that. They produced this toy. They produced this movie. So I choose. I go in as the sucker. Well, what happened? I get to choose? Oh, wow, I get to choose. Look at these 3 terrible movies that I don't even want to see. You know what I mean? Everyone's so dissatisfied. Instead of one-to-one representation, where the board has said, no, we don't want another fucking repeat of a goddamn movie that's already been done. We will expel you from the community of making movies. If in 10 years, we're going to have, every 10 years we'll have the remake year. Maybe that's how we would do it. Okay, whatever reasonable way we do it. Because I get remakes, sure, but my God, I mean, it's such a disappointment. And then you have to praise things that, it's a new movie with the Hail Mary. Okay, well, at least it's a new movie. So our standards are low. But anyway, so we are then asking for what we want. Now we're influencing what they make, So it's not like we have this board that is deciding and directing how to make the movie.
Yeah. Something about that triggers my agile development side of my developer brain, where it's kind of like often you don't know what you want, so you have to do iterations of give me a thing so I can see what you've done, and I'll tell you if that's good or not. Because when I tell you the thing I want, I really don't know what I want. I have an idea in my mind, but when you give it to me and I have to interact with it, I have a different actual sense of it. And so we do a smaller cycle development thing so that we don't have that issue where I haven't worked for a month to give you something you don't want, because I've had a smaller iteration where, okay, I provided you some options. You're like, that's kind of shitty. And then, we iterate kind of thing. So that, how do you evaluate that?
Well, so then a one-to-one committee that was interested in reforming entertainment, right? They would then come together and see what they program what they think they want, and then kind of see where that goes.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then they themselves are sorting out, wait, we don't know what we want yet. We're figuring it out. So they do all this kind of figuring things out. But once they know, and then they come back to the rest of the people and they get many people on the board. Yeah. So there's going to be phases of you create you create a good idea. Before you just launch with, hey, we're going with Latinx, Latinx, that's what we're going to call Latinos. Let's kind of think it through first.
Right. Yeah. Let's give it a little demo. Yeah.
You project develop or whatever. You get your good product, and then you market it once you have something that you have.
Yeah.
And so this is such beautiful. It's beautiful as progressives, real progressives like me that are adult progressives. We don't want to we're not just trying to tear down a building. We don't want to set fire to things. We're trying to build things, and so. You get an actual progressive can go, okay, good, because this is going to empower progressives. You're going to be making progressives a part of the process of what we do. But it contains progressives. So conservatives like that. It contains it because most people are conservative always. That's just how the world works. The first idea is not instantly known by everybody.
Right.
That's not how ideas are learned.
So have you listened to the speech by Alito? No, not Alito. Sorry. He just did a.
Is it one of these guys?
Well, yes. He's on the Supreme Court. Supreme Court Justice. He just did a UT speech, and it was kind of controversial.
Gorsuch is still there.
Yeah.
Alito, Barrett. Wait, is Alito still in?
Yeah.
Barrett, Kagan, Sotomayor. Well, those are female. Oh. Stephen Breyer's still? He's gone.
He's gone.
Brett Kavanaugh or John Roberts? John Roberts.
Keep going. Yeah, he's still the chief.
He is still.
Yep.
And that's the weirdest thing too. That they
but
replace.
no, come on, there's more. At least the person I'm thinking of, and his name always like evades me.
Clarence Thomas.
Yes, Thomas. Yes, holy God, my God. Anyway, Clarence Thomas gave a speech at UT, and he was talking about this. He was like, he caused a lot of controversy because he's like pounding on the Wilsonian progressives, and like progressives at large were pissed off, but like he wasn't necessarily. Well, I mean, this is the way it's been interpreted to me. He was just talking shit about the Wilsonian progressives that like, you know, and, old school.
Yeah, and like other progressives were taking him.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, you know, he was because I think that, you know, some people don't make that same.
Yeah, these other progressives were these mindless NPCs that were thinking that I determine the words that other people are thinking.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh my God.
But has that come up? Have we talked about that at all? Like Wilsonian progressivism versus maybe more modern or other views of progressivism? Or do you espouse the Wilsonian?
You know, I wouldn't even know what Wilsonian progressivism was. I mean, didn't he have like all these points that he wanted Europe to do?
So yeah, he was very much more European style government, right? And I think the thing that rubs most conservatives raw is that there's so many things, but like he was very much like, we just need to have sets of intellectuals or, you know, professionals, people doing these things in the government, and the people, who cares really? You know, it's more the individualistic element of what our country was founded on is not as important. They think that's kind of like an antiquated way to do things, and the European style of more professionals running the government and doing the things, and the people being more of kind of like a sideshow, and individual rights being lesser to the government as an organism that is evolving. Yeah. And like progressing that's the most good, and the individual rights are not as important in the scheme of things.
Yeah, but do you think that that's what I would be for? Or?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That is what was being railed against in this, like Wilsonian, and like Olson was also just an asshole. Well, it's interesting. He did so many bad things. So anyway.
Yeah, and then Clarence Thomas being black as well, because Wilson was famous for saying that.
Yes, he resegregated the government, right? Like,
I guess so.
He's just like he was terrible. He was that eugenicist.
There was a movie. It was a Klan propaganda movie, and he said it was like writing history with lightning.
Oh God,
it was so good.
Oh, I had
so inspired by this movie.
Holy shit! Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I mean, I knew he I listened to Jonah Goldberg's podcast, The Remnant, and like he hates, like, anytime that he talks about Woodrow Wilson, he literally has music come on and plays like the Death Star music from and but like anyway, so he just
Jonah Goldberg is he a left-wing guy or what?
No, he's totally he's an old school. He used to be more of a firebrand of the right, but now he's more like a moderate. He considers himself the remnant because he is like more like old school conservative.
This is my feed is not just right-wing people, but like the worst of the right wing. You know, the most populist, obnoxious right-wing people. Like, why do I have this? This is what I mean. If we had one-to-one representation, we would be controlling what our feed is. You know, we wouldn't have to just. And then we say, "Oh, he's popular. I guess he's got this many followers and this many people doing this."
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a lot of botting coming out. People finding out people are getting bots for their own accounts.
Oh yeah. Like that's long been the thing that I've worried about.
13 subs.
They're all bots.
Well, actually, I think 2 originally, because I had 4 randomly, and I was like, it's got to be bots. Why would anyone follow a dead account that I didn't do anything with?
I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I'm sure that someone's always listening, but yeah.
But it was a dead account. Nothing happening. Like, who's subscribing to every account?
I'm just saying, yeah, there are bots out there just paying attention.
Yeah. So,
sorry, I don't want to leave that just yet, because I am curious where you're at on the Wilsonian progressivism thing. Like, do you have a position there? Like, you know, I disavow kind of like that old school progressivism.
Disavow.
Or do you feel like, you know, that's...
What do you mean? Because I'm calling myself a progressive?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also saying, by the way, you're a complete moron if you don't know that when I say progressive, I am saying whatever I think progressive is. And I'm a progressive because when I said it just now, it meant I like lasagna. A progressive is a person who likes lasagna. It can be whatever I want it to be. That's how words work. And I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but that is how what a word works. It's scary. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, no. What you're saying is we don't really know what each other's communicating? Yes, that's how the world works. Nobody knows what's being communicated. And people are going around with these rose-tinted glasses like, oh, I see a sign. That's what that means. So that guy's a racist because he said that word. And this person's a Nazi. And everyone's like, what? You're not even listening. You don't care about what they say about it. But here's a real question. Like, when I say to you, are you an American? Whatever, right? If I say, are you an American? Whose meaning of that are we using? Like, if you say yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I have no choice because I am an American citizen. I live in America. I'm an American.
Yeah, but like, regardless of what you think it is it the person being asked, or is it me? When person B says yes to a question,
when you ask me if I am an American, I feel like that has to lean on. I would try to take into account what you think an American is, but I feel like if I have to say what I think an American is, that's clearly what I think, right?
Yeah, it's just bouncing around and what everybody thinks. And if you have a camera, it's going to be what everybody thinks because it's like, oh, this is going out. I don't care what you think the N-word is. I'm not going to be for it. You know what I mean? Because your camera's on you, and it doesn't matter because now it's a different thing. And then there's that aspect.
You're caveating for sure for that.
Yeah. And there's all that psychological aspect. Like there's some taboo reactions people have where they can't be logical. Some things are like women are not equal. It's an obvious statement because penises and vaginas are not the same thing. But people are not comfortable saying that because of taboo.
I mean, they're not the same, but I wouldn't say they're not equal. Like, what do you mean? I mean, they're not. I mean, I think it's fair to say they're not like a 1-to-1. That's the wrong word. So they're not the same thing. But they would say when all men are created equal. I like that idea. The idea that all people are like you may have an innie or an outie, but you're a person, right?
Okay, that's isonomia, equality under the law. But that's what I mean. So equal can mean things, and we're not stretching the definition to say equal as being exactly like in geometry.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So that's not, doing any kind of semantic, shenanigans.
Yeah, no, so for sure there. Yeah.
Why haven't I come up with semantigans or something? Semantigans.
Oh, yeah.
Shenanigans. Semantigans.
Yeah, that's good.
Look at the .com. Too late. Semantigans. I don't even know how that would work. But maybe I spent probably 5 days of my life one time. Shenanigans? Just realizing that's a waste of time.
No work.
But that's an interesting thing where who means what? Like, but we have man on the street interviews all the time. Is it what Alex Jones is asking you?
Yeah. But I feel like you're escaping my question. Like I was
with Wilson.
Well, no, it's progressivism. Like, yeah.
I'm a progressive. No, I'll tell you what I mean by progressive. When I say I am moving forward, I'm for changing forward. I'm a progressive in the same category as Adolf Hitler. This is nothing positive or good. If someone's a progressive, I want to change everything and make it new into my vision of what's right. Okay, well, you might be Adolf Hitler as a progressive. So that's what I mean. That's what all these progressives, they were Adolf Hitlers. They're like, oh, well, my vision, we'd have no white supremacy, and all Republicans would be, marched into camps, and so they just started living their, progressive utopia. It's like, no, that's not good. So progressive's not necessarily good anyway. It means you're moving forward, and you might say Adolf Hitler was moving backward because it was as if he was going, but he was moving forward in reality rather than actually going back to the past. Some people can say they're going back to the past.
I mean, with Blood and Soil, you would think it was there's a little bit of going back to the past there, right?
Well, he would use the past things, but he wasn't really going back to the past.
Yeah,
like this Third Reich, or he's kind of building up this sort of theatrical history of the German people.
Right.
Did you ever know about there was an experiment in a school where they did people with armbands about being a Nazi or something like that, or being third wave. Third wave, have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. I haven't heard of it.
But third wave as if a socio-psychological experiment with a high school. And they had people that got into it and they started becoming officers. It was kind of like that experiment, where
the Stanford thing?
Stanford,
the
guards. And so something like that. But I haven't heard much about it. I wonder if Aidan Paladin is a psychological person.
We'll have to put that in the queue for the next discussion. That's
but then see, we don't know. See, that's for an expert to do something on that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, maybe we can think about it, look at it, or whatever.
Okay. So you're Adolf Hitler progressive, is what you're saying.
I'm an Adolf Hitler style progressive.
Okay, that makes it clear.
And that's what I would love for those warnings to come with whatever I talk about. I'm talking about like potentially dangerous stuff. So this is not something we're playing around with. We don't take it lightly.
Right.
Let's be very serious. When I say the murder bore, I'm completely joking. I'm talking about something could be very dangerous if people just start taking over and thinking they can speak for other people. That's why really the fundamental concept of one-to-one representation is you can't speak for anyone else but yourself or someone you've been specifically aligned and assigned, and we don't have that process. We have people speaking on behalf of everybody, and everyone thinks they actually do. They think Trump got a mandate. And what percent of votes did he get about?
Yeah, like 30 something, right?
Yeah, 30%. I mean, that's my guess. I haven't even really looked into it.
And it's on the order of that.
Yeah. Yeah, the nomination is where people are misled. Like if you said, how would you start a body of elected representatives? They would start with like a nomination concept, right?
Seemingly, yeah.
That's where people go wrong. So that's where I need to grab people and go, yeah, so you think of nominating. No. Well, you elect. Right. The nomination process is now the election process.
Right.
You are now
the same thing. Yeah.
Why do you limit yourself to just naming? Like that guy, that's a guy over there. You're naming him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a person that I would like. Instead of naming, why don't you say, no, he's chosen, and that is it. It's done. That guy actually got my vote already.
Yeah.
They were skipping the bureaucracy,
Sure.
That might help.
Oh, was it Tellus that was your board? Like the person you would nominate to represent you?
Oh, Massey.
Massey. Okay.
That's my go-to for anything. Really.
Gotcha. Yeah. Who's he represent? What's his
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
With Rand.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he's a House, I think, and then Rand is a whatever.
It's Senator. Sure. Okay. Cool. Sorry to interject.
Yeah,
I was thinking of. I heard Tom tell us on the news this morning, and I was thinking of him when I was trying to remember who you were like in favor of being he's in Nebraska. But anyway.
Yeah. So to go back to Wilsonian progressives, I'm about individual rights first. So my socialist utopia comes from the right wing understanding of the world. Once you understand Austrian economics and how everything free market is beautiful, once you understand the real beauty of the free market, like do you believe, you're still for gouging laws, restrictions on gouging prices?
Moderately, not 100%.
Okay.
But maybe extremely. But no, I think in general, they're just a good signal.
They're a good signal?
Right, yeah. Like if I have 5 cases of water and there's a hurricane coming in and people are like, oh, I need water. And I'm like, hey, well, I'll sell it to you for 80% more or whatever. I think that's a signal like, hey, people want water, and maybe I won't get 80%. But I think it's the right signal. Like you can make more money if you provide water.
You're saying price gouging is okay? Or
I don't think it's great, but I think it's a good signal for the market to be like, hey, let's prepare for things that might happen and have that available so I can make some extra money.
But then that means you understand that you actually want gouging to happen.
Yeah, I just want to call it that. I just want to call it like preparation for unexpected events.
Yeah, and then the Home Depots would say, well, we're going to have a little extra space in Galveston for all this plywood when we need it. We'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now it's worth it to have this sitting around all year for 8 years, right?
Right.
I don't know how long plywood can sit there, but
but
something like that, like they could set up for it and blah blah blah.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm sure we agree on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't like calling it gouging because it does feel like I'm poking in the eye.
But that's what we should do. Like I'd say Adolf Hitler progressive, like to go to the extreme. I want people to understand like progressives can be very bad people. This is not like people go, well, he's regressive. He's going backwards in a bad way. Like that's the opposite of a progressive. I'm like, no, progressive is someone moving forward what they think is what they want to do, and it can be good or bad. Like that's how it is.
Right.
But then what we have today is so crazy because speaking of this is the real crazy part. These guys all today, these left-wing woke fascists, are all conservatives, especially now.
Yeah, like the nationalist kind of folks, yeah.
Yeah, well, nationalists. I mean,
like the Christian nationalists. I don't know if you're
no, left-wing fascists. The woke.
I thought you said they were right, but anyway, go ahead.
No, okay. So I did not complete a statement where I was saying I want the right-wing people who understand Austrian economy to understand we need socialism for basic functions. Like we need socialized roads to some extent.
Yeah. Because
shared roads is a benefit to da-da-da-da-da. So we want to go to these functional things like there's a technical wiring thing we need to share for the internet. That has to be a socialized thing.
Yeah.
And we need to provide everyone with like a a Mazda 626 kind of equivalent automobile. You know what I mean? And
Wait, that was
coupons
but
for
okay.
one free heart surgery every 10 years. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So there's like a minimum we've got to give everybody. And then once everybody realizes that, we go from nothing, anarchy of no giving away, to slowly giving away, and we build. And then until we are at the unsustainable, everyone's bloated with material and things they have. Everyone's got one of everything they need, or multiples of everything they need.
Okay.
But no, hold on. I'm sorry we went into the absurdity, but do you see what I'm saying with that?
I think so. Yeah, I think I follow generally. Yeah.
Yeah, the right wings have their brain screwed on straight. They need to make the decisions for the left because the left can't come together on anything. The left gets all dreamy and they start going and making all these fantasy things that don't make any sense. But the right wing people go, okay, no, hold on. If you're trying to be socialist and communist and dreamy, here's a way you can do it. It makes sense.
Right.
We agree with this. We'll support it. We're conservative. We're going to hold you back and not make you just go.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, right? We needed that. Yeah.
And you give up your rights. You want to live in a city that you don't have any guns and it's all electric golf carts or whatever. You give up your rights. It's time to bend over, and your suppository mandatory. It doesn't, whatever the police say. That's one option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how a conservative would do it. You give up rights, you get benefits. Maybe that's how you do it.
Fair.
And so if you're a child, or you go back into a childlike state, you lose all your money. Like, you're a child. Okay, we'll take care of you like a child, but you're going to go to school, have rules, be treated like a child.
Right. Yeah.
Not with the other children, because there is that problem. I did want that the idea that, allow older people to go back to high school, for free. Because then you'd have people there like, I'm a truck driver. I really need to know this. Shut the hell up.
Right. Okay.
They
Someone
keep
like
everything.
right.
The class would be. Also, people go, I don't want to be this 50-year-old guy learning to do this.
Yeah.
But then, of course, sexuality. Always the last thing I think about.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't have these older men with the teenagers.
I mean, you said it's the last thing you think about. I'm surprised that's true.
Yeah, it is. No, like the pool. Remember, I live next to the pool. I don't think bikinis. I don't associate pools with bikinis.
I mean, I do. Okay.
Well, I do now. Oh my god, it's burned into my retina. Speaking of the ophthalmologist, do you see the outline of a bikini back there? I should have asked him. Oh, by the way, the second visit was a complete waste of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But so, like, what did he say?
I guess I feel like he looked in my eyeball, but what did he say? It's like nothing. He didn't say anything. It's like, yeah, everything's fine. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that. Except,
but you didn't know that before. You were kind of freaking out.
When I left that office, I didn't know. And for like 10 days, I thought, oh my god. I mean, I was living. Oh my god, I'm going to be blind. This is going to be the new me. I've got to, what's my future going to be? And then, I'm going to go blind in both eyes because that's just how it's going to have to happen. That's the worst case scenario. I start worst case scenario first. Like, let's plan the worst way to think about things. But yeah, no, that guy was no, he was great. But still, I don't know much. What do they do? What do eye doctors do? Right? They look inside and they go, everything's fine.
I mean, honestly, I've never been to one. So.
Can't we get a bot to do this kind of thing?
Yes.
Robot?
Yes.
Look there. Oops, we lasered your retina part. But also here on the note of getting things for free and killing criminals, if you have to reach your hand in to get the free oatmeal, that will eventually the socialist utopia I'm talking about, the nutrient slop.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a warranted criminal,
you get the clank. Okay.
You got locked in.
Right.
Now that machine will just go with you to the facility. The machine just engulfs you, like it flips around and comes around you. You haven't seen Brazil. That's fascinating. Okay.
No.
Yeah. It's just they have a good arrest sequence where they really thoroughly arrest you. So the nomination, yeah. We talked about idea permanence, where people that don't understand ideas.
Yeah. That was like with the children kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We talk about, like, we have family bore.
Oh no, we should talk about this.
So the idea that so when we think about, like, so my progressivism is I want it to start atomically. like literally grassroots. And the only way you do that is you, that human, that homo that I'm talking to, you do the thing that we're talking about. You do it and I do it. So what is it like raising your own family? The things that you have most control over is your own life and your child and your family and all that. Your personal life, your social life.
Ooh.
Right. So this is where we can also start representing ourselves using one-to-one to teach our kids this and get to understand it, but in a functional way. What's the...
Oh, and like, sorry, I'm just, I'm getting vibes of John Goldberg again. He like talks about this with his respect to, he thinks about like the family unit being not democratic, right?
Right.
This is a patriarchy. This is not a democracy.
It's a family, not a
There's
bunch
no
of enemies like we.
Yeah. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd have any kind of one-to-one going on with the kids. The kids are not like, all right, I elect myself to decide.
Well, okay, but here's why you would.
Dinner.
Exactly. So the first reaction of the establishment, you're the father. You're like, wait a minute, I don't want my kids to have an uprising.
Right.
But remember, you're not uprising. We're supporting our children that we want to be adults one day. Right.
Okay.
We're like, oh yeah, that's right. Also, at age 13, if we start thinking that they're adults with 0%, we start measuring percent. They start thinking they're adults. We start thinking they're adults. And we start like really training our kids better.
Okay.
I really feel like parents are getting.
So maybe below age 13, this doesn't apply in terms of the one-to-one representation in the household.
Yes, certainly. There you go. Okay, so you would be a part of the board at age 13.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And maybe they count your vote is with a percentage of how adults.
Right. Yeah. You get like 5%.
Yeah. So when you're 21, you're 100% adult.
Yeah.
Then you get a full vote in them.
Okay.
That's one way to do that, but that's an optional add-on that you can get there. But we have members of the family that you want to represent. You want to say there's an age point, go ahead. But you're going to represent these people, but this is for big. So what are we saying? The guy has 3 kids and they vote to go to McDonald's, and he says no.
Right.
Okay, but so it's how you forgot what one-to-one is. They're doing what? They have weaponry? The children have an army?
No, obviously not. Yeah.
What are the children doing? They're just saying.
Yeah.
Kids say, I want McDonald's all the time. Parents say no.
Okay.
So the guy that owns the car said no. I mean, so that's the reality is they did have a vote, and the most people said they wanted to do this. So 60% want to go to McDonald's.
Right.
But the person who owned the car couldn't take them there. Chose not to. And so now they learn to negotiate and do all that. So that's what I mean. That in that scenario, they would be negotiating. So you would want them to do one-to-one in that sense. But one-to-one doesn't really apply for 5 people. That's not really a scenario where you would use one-to-one.
Yeah.
It's not. It does. It's so small and confusing. The entire concept is. I don't even suggest.
What do you think the minimum level is in there? Like, how many folks do you need?
Let's say more than a band. Once you start to get into the bands, were 50 to 80 people that we grew up in our band societies.
Yeah.
So if something like that, you got 100 people in your family.
That's good. That's almost like statistical significance. That's almost like you've hit that same threshold. Over 100, you've got like a representative sample for something. Yeah.
Okay. So then a family then can make a board that represents them for purposes, a specific purpose. Like we want to have a family reunion, planning that out and doing that.
Yeah.
So what does the board say? We say when the board thinks it's going to be, when they want it to be, the board is speaking again, but people have to show up. It's not like they imprison the members and force them to go. They don't take their bank accounts and force them to buy air tickets.
Yeah.
You see? So it's a voice. It's the Senate. We now have the Senate of the people that can speak.
Right.
People have to then respect it, and they will respect it when it's enough people speaking. And naturally, this is the beauty of it. Naturally, over time, we will eventually go to the beach house if enough people want it. It won't happen this year, maybe not next year, but 3 years later or whatever, yeah, someone's going to throw that in because if there's enough people that want to do it, it does sound fun enough or whatever.
Yeah.
Things will, and then people will see you, and you want your children to see that's how you can get something done. You talk with other people, you negotiate, you talk amongst the people you agree with first, right? So if you're a progressive, you talk together with people you agree with first, get that hammered out, get rid of all the nonsense. Then you say, okay, now we're ready to market this. So you're teaching your kids basic, what?
Oh, my only thought, like sneaking in my head there was more like, sometimes you have folks that are willing to weigh in, but aren't willing to put in work. And that seems like the distinction when you're talking about like having the family reunion. You've got lots of people that have opinions like, oh, let's do it here, let's do it there. But you have the core of people that are willing to actually put in the work to be like, we're going to plan it, we're going to make sure we get this person to do that. We're going to do all the work involved in making the thing happen. And like, how do you balance like people weighing in on what ought to be done versus people willing to put in the work to do it?
But see, remember, the work is someone has to do it. Oh yeah, what is the dealio here? Oh, let's go to our emergency cam. What's this thing in the middle for no reason? Did we even try this? Well, technical dip. I'll try again. Great.
Why not?
Yeah, so I am red-faced because I went to Dripping Springs Founders Day Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of it?
Not until you told me.
Okay, dude. Free food. Free. That was quick.
I was there for a second, and then it just
free food. Free alcohol. I mean, you tip, so you do whatever your thing is, right? And it was great. Like a high trust community. Everybody was tipping and paying these people. It was all for free.
Yeah.
So it was like almost like, what's going on here? Actually, these are donations. I didn't realize that this is not a taxable thing or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize the bypassing aspect of the agorist nature of this. Do you know what agorists are?
No.
They're for black markets and brown markets, semi-legal and completely illegal markets.
Yeah.
Which I think is absurd. Like if you're going to be an anarchist, just say you're an anarchist. They tend to be supportive of non-governmental scenarios. Why would you advertise that you support black markets? Right? Doesn't the anarchy part cover that?
You would think, yeah.
Anyway, there's a whole guy as a leader. It's like a little cult of whatever,
Okay.
And that's another thing. Is like, is there going to be a one-to-one cult and once we get enough people, we're like, we don't really want anyone else to be involved. And we just stick to ourselves. We're happy. You know what I mean? We're happy enough. I found 12 other couples, 12 other families that believe the same way we feel, is that natural band society we've lived with for hundreds of years.
I think that's right. I think that having those isolated communities, I mean, they're still going to have to interact with like greater communities, but it'd be cool if they had their own like little thing, right? You got the Amish doing their thing and they're going to do whatever they do. But then when they interact with other communities, they'll have to, the larger rules have to apply.
Yeah, and we can learn from the Amish, and so we can do anything they want to do. And so even if one-to-one was a thing, it would be shared by somebody, and other people could use the technique.
Yeah, I do like the idea of like a pluralistic view on that, where at the micro level, like you can have little bands of people that, so long as people can opt out and do something different, it's fine, right? You can do whatever kind of weird society you want to have within your little like family group, and maybe slightly bigger, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to apply it to the greater populace. But like experiment. This is many flowers blooming, and
that's the where the progressives come together and go, well, let's see what works, and they actually live in communes and really try to see what works.
Right? Yeah. I'm for that.
And so here's the problem. Also, we did that in the '60s, right? There were communes and they failed, and this, that, and everything fails. So what happened? Where's the information from that? So if we could come together and institutionalize our research and what's working, what's not, and just keep it all alive. But all we have to do is connect. Once we connect in a board of the United States citizens or whatever group, right? That group can now connect in their information sources, and they can say, well, let's elect a little sub-board of ourselves to make a history of our own people and what the hell we all came from and what's going on in the world. That's one of the first things we want to do, actually. The first board that we want to form is adult Americans that want to report on the federal government. Who do you want to report on the federal government? This is where you chose Chris Starvold.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Starvold, yeah.
Starvold. And I chose Thomas Massey, and you chose this person, that person. So that's where, once we form that to report, one of the things to report is the history. What's the actual history? What the hell has happened?
Yeah.
The first thing I would want to do is go, okay, let's actually, can you just spell out what most people think is understood? Like conspiracy theories and these different things. Like it gets confusing. There's so many, and you hear things and you don't have a good grip on it.
You want a board for that?
Well, a board of what's actually going on.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so
And the history. So if it was a board that was focusing on reporting on the federal government, what is the history of the federal government? There'll be like another little sub-bore maybe. Like Thomas Massey would then get to vote. You know the two different ways we could do that? Do you see those two different ways?
Tell me.
Well, like, so there's the bore, we have a bore to report on the federal government. And that is Thomas Massey, for me, Chris Starbuck. Okay. Then for those that bore might say, we want a sub-bore. So we want like a subcommittee. But it's not necessarily each of us, because Thomas Massey might not be a nuclear physicist. So he says, we each point who we think the best nuclear physicist is to do this nuclear physicist thing.
Okay.
And so they appoint an expert, and that expert is giving feedback to this guy who's watching them and watching everybody. We're seeing everybody's experts, and they're learning, oh, these are better experts over here. Thomas Massey goes, oh, this is a better expert for next period.
Okay.
Because every period you're changing this, just like everything. And so that's two ways. We could there could be a nuclear physicist at the base level of the United States American citizen. I, as Beau, you as Dubs, we each choose who we want as our nuclear physicist expert.
Oh, that might bubble up.
So there's the two different methods of forming a bore of a specific thing.
Would Massey be required to honor the collective nuclear physicist bore?
No. Thomas Massey would then speak on his own self within the bore of, or he speaks on behalf of however many people.
Right.
Within the bore of reporting on the federal government. Oh, you're saying he's got his own nuclear physicist bore, right? They have the sub-bore of the bore, right? And then we have our bore that is a root bore. I guess that might be what we call it. Of people we've chosen as nuclear physicists.
Right.
So we have these two different reports,
Yeah.
Which is great.
But I don't know any nuclear physicists. Like, what would I even say about that?
But over time you would if that was a big deal. Like if that mattered for whatever reason. There's a portal dimension, aliens are coming through, and all of a sudden this is a big thing. And, if we did a period every month, you would learn this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or I don't understand him, or, I don't trust him, or whatever.
Fair.
So where are we going to
getting small in time, but I was going to ask you, we haven't touched Iran, and that was in our marching orders there. So
should say that. Iran war's still going on, right? I guess I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, yeah. Let's see. What's your latest understanding of what was going on?
I don't have really understanding.
So last I've heard, we've got of course we've had a couple ceasefires going on, right? We've got the Hezbollah ceasefire with Israel, so that's like kind of it's like some people are saying it's not exactly a ceasefire, it's like a slow fire kind of thing. So there's still firing going on, but it's not like as bad.
Slow down, Chris.
Yeah, so we got that going on.
Control burn.
Yeah, and then we've got, of course, the Strait of Hormuz not being open. Like
double blockaded, right?
Right. Yeah, double blockaded. But yes, a few things are getting through. So it's like I don't know what you call that, like a light blockade kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. My understanding in terms of negotiations is it's all bullshit. Like people are saying, "Oh, Trump's saying we've got a deal." They're saying we have no deal. Maybe it's all I think posturing.
Yeah. So we got this guy who really thinks he's just or he thinks at least pretending to be the crap is the way to go, and so he's going to just do it his way, and he wrote a book on it, and that's what he's going to do.
Right.
And if it works, works. If it doesn't, hell on earth. The red button, I guess.
Yeah.
So the real problem with the war in Iran is, we didn't talk about this last time.
Oh.
Is we have, and Shuan Head talks about this, is we have these people who believe in end times, and that the bodies will come from Israel, and Israel needs to be the church, whatever, the third temple or whatever. I don't even know, actually. I used to know a lot of that stuff. But so we got end timers that are wanting like a nuclear showdown in Israel or something.
Right. Yeah. And then we got the same on Iran side, right? We got Iran who, death to America, death to Israel. Let's put a nuclear bomb on our flag.
This prominent narrative over there. So, what are you hearing about that? Are you thinking about what concerns you have?
I mean, I'm hoping, actually. I'm still hoping for an uprising from the people to be like, hey, let's overthrow the mullahs. Let's not have the IRGC running the country, and that'd be fantastic. But it's hard to. I mean, that's my optimism, bleeding through. But that's what I want. But in terms of what's happening, it seems like the IRGC is slowly consolidating power as the military group. The mullahs are kind of whatever. So we may not be dealing with as quite as religiously fundamentalist. I mean, probably similarly so, but it seems like the real power is in the military right now. So whoever in the IGC comes out on top will probably be kind of what dictates that, unless the people rise up and overthrow that piece of it. That's where my understanding is.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, and then if we had one-to-one representation there, they already were using that. We would already know how many people were satisfied or dissatisfied.
Yeah.
We'd be able to hop into that. As soon as people were free, they'd be able to, let's form a board, because you now know how to get people all together and actually accurately measure what the hell's going on, which is the first step on anything. This is why the first step on changing the United States is not to like change this or change that. It's to find out, wait a minute, who knows what the hell's going on? And find out what's going on, report on the federal government. Let's just catch it. Oh, for God's sake. Was Cammy. It's great. Okay, so anywho, the family bore. What to wrap up there? Because grievances, hearings. So gatherings is one way your family could come together and have a representative board. A need for it. Another one is hearings, like grievances, like what is the right way to deal with? Someone was rude to somebody, or how do we deal with something? Or who's wrong? Someone's wronged by someone else. They need the community.
I can't help but think of Festivus for that. But,
a Festivus is
for right. Yeah, the airing of grievances.
Yeah, kind of airing of the grievances.
So you're thinking maybe something akin to that for the family board, like.
Well, the board could then deliver a response on someone goes, hey, this happened to me by another family member. The board can say, yeah, we don't want to be doing this to people.
Okay.
Or if someone does that to you, you're a little, whiny girl if you cry, about it. This is not a problem. So, whatever. So, not that a whiny girl is bad. That might be empowered. Oh, we just okay. What else do we need to?
You tell me. What's in your queue? I feel like I had a few things, and I think we've actually fed most of them in. So,
what can you think of anything else?
Let's see. Top of mind, the gosh, there was something important. Oh, I mean the assassination thing. Did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm getting so used to it all.
It happens. It just happens. Right? I mean, actually, that's kind of how Trump sort of
played it off.
Yeah, right. Like he's just this sort of thing that's happening these days. I mean, which he's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's another outraged psychopath that TDS maxed out. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like that's a problem? Like something we need to address? Oh God,
left is out of control. Yeah, with the violence and violent rhetoric that they have just never acknowledged from themselves, strangely.
Yeah. So, but do you think we need to do something not just a rhetoric, but I mean, maybe that's the problem. But something should be done legally?
Well, here's what should happen: the Democrats should come together and say, "Hey, we want to support the Democratic Party. Let's get together and help with the messaging." Because it sounds like people are falling prey to the ease of riling someone's hatred up.
Yeah.
And calling someone racist and Nazi to get remember the whole. This election, like every election, is the most
Flight
important
92,
election.
whatever,
Yeah. What?
Flight 92? Is that the right? Goddamn, I hope it's the right one. There's the flight where they had down the airplane. They're because we gotta end it to survive kind of thing.
Oh, well, win at all costs. So that's Sig Heiling, maybe.
Oh.
Crashing the economy to win the election, that kind of thing.
Maybe. I mean, but you know what I'm talking about when I say the Flight 92 thing.
The people, let's roll. United States terrorist 9/11 attack? No, what's
maybe. So the people that down the plane are we're not gonna let the terrorists.
Let's roll is what he said. And they go. That's why some movie was made about it. Let's roll. I don't know.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay,
that's what he did say. Let's roll.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a horrifying thing, and that you call people and say you're dying. What a nightmarish scenario. Is that even what you really want to leave your loved ones with?
I mean, you got to tell them the truth, right?
Yeah, you want to be able to talk to them.
Obviously. Yeah, but it's just more that, how do we turn down the rhetoric from that? We got to crash this plane because things are so bad. We literally have to commit suicide to prevent the damage they're going to do, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, so that's how they would do it. If the Democrats were one-to-one represented, there'd be enough people just saying common sense stuff. Yeah, well, that's what the problem is. They would know that. It would never have happened in the first place, and it would start to heal because people get the feedback and they realize, oh, it really is too much. Because when your own people tell you, yeah, you're out of control. Well, I understand you're saying he's a Nazi, and he's not really a Nazi, but you've got to say that. Like, let's stop. And I don't know, because when you start saying he's a Nazi and now you stop, now you really have a marketing problem,
right?
Because you're now making him look really good, because you don't have anything to pressure him with,
right? Yeah, and then when you make some kind of conciliation, it's like, oh, well, you're conciliating with Nazis now. What are you doing? We're going to pass a budget
what you've said
with
before,
Nazis.
Yeah. Did we talk about with rules of sharing? You give directly to the people. So individualization is what I'm for, not privatization. So I'm for individualization, giving each person 1,000 medical bucks that they can use for medicine.
Okay.
Instead of privatizing a hospital. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Okay, so anyway,
I'm ambivalent, but yeah.
Yeah, so we get competition. Okay. And then I think that's wrapping it up.
All right.
For me. All right, Dubs, appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
All right, thanks for anyone that got through this far.